Hi students, a very good morning. Today we are going to learn the same topic, transformation of sentences, model 3 and 4. Okay, in the last class we saw model 1 and 2, ideas based on contrast and ideas based on reason. So today we are going to learn ideas based on condition. Okay, so what is the clue for that? Under simple, in the positive sentence, I've given two tables, one for positive and one for negative. In case of, in the event of. And what is the compound conjunction? It is and. What is the complex conjunction? It is if. These are the clue words for the ideas based on condition. Then in case of not, same group of phrase, group of words, but in negative sense, in case of not, in the event of not. So the compound conjunction, the coordinating conjunction is otherwise, or else, or. And for complex it is unless. Okay, so look at the example sentence. In case of taking these pills, you will be all right. Okay, so all that words, that means all that ideas which are in red in color are main clause, because see, you will be all right, it has a complete meaning. Okay, so it has a finite verb, it has a complete meaning. But the first group of words you need to identify. What is that? In case of taking these pills. Taking is not a finite verb, it's in an ing form. So that is a group of words without a finite verb. So the first sentence is a simple sentence. So how to change the simple sentence into a compound sentence? Already we saw the conjunction is and. Okay, so what we need to do, you must take these pills, you can write like that. Otherwise simply you can make it imperative by telling take these pills. And what is the conjunction? And. I'm using and here. Okay, you will be all right. So we have changed this phrase into a main clause. Take these pills and you will be all right. So change the same sentence into a complex sentence. What is the complex conjunction? If. So if you, where do I take this you from? Because it is already in the sentence, it is talked about you, the subject you. So if you take these pills, I am changing it into a clause, subordinate clause. You take these pills, if you take these pills. If is the complex conjunction, subordinating conjunction. So if you take these pills, you will be all right. You understand? So if you read these three sentences, in case of taking these pills, you will be all right. Take these pills and you will be all right. If you take these pills, you will be all right. There won't be any change of meanings when you transform one sentence into another sentence. So hope you understand. If you don't, you just pause the video and just go for the clues and just try to learn it. The first sentence is a simple sentence, please make note of it. And the second sentence is a compound sentence, and the third sentence is a complex sentence. Let's see some other examples of the same model 3. In the event of not playing well, here the model is in negative, the idea is in negative. If it is in the negative form, what we need to do? In the event of not playing well, you cannot win the match. No, it is very common, no? If you don't play well, you cannot win the match. Okay, so first sentence is a simple sentence. How do we know? This is a phrase. In the event of not playing well is a phrase. You cannot win the match. That is a main clause. So this is a simple sentence. So you can see in the event of not, it is in the simple clue. So what is that? We need to add as coordinating conjunctions and a compound, otherwise, or else, or, because in the event of not, in the negative form. Okay, let's see. Here, the third sentence, you must play well or else you cannot win the match. So that is the conjunction we are using for compound sentence. For compound sentence, it is as the third sentence, you must play well or else you cannot win the match. You can also say without this you must, play well or else you cannot win the match. Play well, otherwise you cannot win the match. And in the complex sentence, what we need to use, see here, unless. The word unless I have used, unless I'm taking the same subject you. Unless you, I'm changing this ing form into basic form because it is in the present tense. Unless you play well, you cannot win the match. So I have three sentences. The first one simple sentence, the second one is a complex sentence, the third one is a compound sentence. Okay, what is the clue word for simple sentence? In the event of not. Okay, the second sentence unless, in the third sentence or else. Okay, the second example of the negative conditional ideas. Okay, exercise regularly, or you can say you must exercise regularly, otherwise you cannot be fit and healthy. It is already a main clause. This is also a main clause because it has a finite verb and complete meaning. Exercise regularly, it has a complete meaning, and it has been connected with otherwise, so it is a compound sentence. Okay, if it is negative form, in the complex sentence we need to use what? Unless. So unless, I'm taking this you here, unless you exercise regularly. Unless you exercise regularly, you cannot be fit and healthy. Okay, look at the third sentence. So this one, the second sentence, this one is a the second sentence, this one is a complex sentence because one, unless you exercise regularly, you cannot be fit and healthy. Okay, the third sentence, in the event of not exercising regularly. What is this? In the event of not, what sentence it is? In the event of not. Very good, it is a simple sentence. So in the event of not exercising regularly, it should not be the verb, finite verb, because the phrase does not have a finite verb, so ing form. In the event of not exercising regularly, the same thing, you cannot be fit and healthy. Okay, if you read the three sentences, exercise regularly, otherwise you cannot be fit and healthy. Unless you exercise regularly, you cannot be fit and healthy. In the event of not exercising regularly, you cannot be fit and healthy. So we have seen the two examples here. The first one is in the positive sentence and the second one is in the negative form. Okay, the change of one type of sentence into another type of sentence will not bring any change in the meaning. Okay, we are just changing the phrase into a subordinate clause or a main clause to make it complex or compound. Hope you understand the third model. Okay, now the fourth model. Okay, the fourth model, clue words in the simple sentence are to, very, and so. Complex, so, that. What is that dot dot dot? No, see here, to, but in between there is a word. Too weak to, that's why I've given a space there. Okay, so how to identify a simple sentence in this form? To is simple sentence, very and so is the clue word for compound sentence, so that is the clue word for complex sentence. Okay, he is too weak, that is the main clause. Okay, he is too weak. The next part, to lift the box, to lift this box, that is the phrase. So the phrase has come in the second part. That doesn't make any difference. It can be at the beginning or at the end. Okay, so don't worry about that. Where is the main clause? He is too weak. Okay, so here is the phrase, to lift this box. So it is a simple sentence. So how do we change that into a compound sentence? We have to change this to into very, and this to into and so. Okay, let's see. He is, instead of to, what is that? Very. He is very weak. Okay, then it is a phrase. So what should I do? I have to use and so, because in compound sentence and so is the conjunction, coordinating conjunction. And so, who cannot lift that box? What is the subject? He. So we are taking he, we are adding cannot For lift, we are using cannot lift. If the sentence is in past tense was, we can use could not lift. Could not lift this box. This word should be this. So is very weak, and so he cannot lift the box. So in the complex sentence, what should we do? So that he is so weak that he cannot lift the box. Okay, that he cannot lift the box is a subordinate clause. The complex, this group of words is a clause, subordinate clause, cannot stand on its own. It is a dependent clause, so it has to depend on the main clause. He is so weak. So hope you understand. Okay, look at the second example. This problem is too difficult for me to solve it. So here, this problem is too difficult. Here, this is the main clause. To. Which sentence it is? Simple sentence. That's good. Okay, but instead of to solve it, here it starts with to lift this box, but there is another word, for me. Does it bring any change in transforming into a compound sentence? Let's see that. This problem is, instead of to, we use very. This problem is very difficult. So what we use? And so this for me gives as a subject here. Me changes to I. This problem is very difficult. So instead of this me, I am using that as a subject. And so I, the same cannot I am using because the sentence is in present tense. I cannot solve it. Okay, so this problem is very difficult, and so I cannot solve it. Complex is going to be very easy. Instead of very, and so we are going to use so that. This problem is so difficult. Main clause finished. Okay, here starts the subordinate clause. That I cannot solve it. That I cannot solve it does not give any complete meaning. It has to depend on the main clause for the complete sense. So the third sentence is a complex sentence. The second sentence is a compound sentence. So if you read all the three sentences, it does not give you any change of meaning. Okay, so we have learned model 3 and model 4. Okay, hope you understand. So today we have learned two models. The third model, I have given you the name, ideas based on condition. Okay, so in case of, in the event of, compound sentence as and, complex sentence has if. So that is in the positive and this is in the negative. Negative, we are using not. For compound sentence, because it is negative, we use any of these three words, otherwise, or else, or. Here, if not is equal to unless. So we use that unless in the complex sentence. So three models. This is the affirmative model and this is the negative model. Okay, so I told you, you can use you must play well or else you cannot win the match, or else you can use play well or else you cannot win the match. Both way you can use. And this is the fourth model which comes with, so very frequently all the four models are very frequently asked models. If you are thorough with these four, it will be very beneficial. Okay, to, very, and so that. So hope you understand this lesson, and here is a small exercise. Okay, if you eat healthy, you can be strong. She is very weak and so she cannot travel a long distance. It is a two different sentence. This sentence is a complex sentence. I'll give you the clue. If you eat healthy, you can be strong. So you transform that into compound and simple. Okay, this one, second small task is, she is very weak and so she cannot travel a long distance. What is that? And so, where it comes, and so comes in the compound sentence. So you need to change that into simple and complex. You can go back, watch this clue and try to change that. Okay, this is a small task for you, for me to understand, or for me to know whether you understood the learning or not. So for better understanding, you can pause the video and you can just learn through the tables, learn the clues, and with the examples, you can learn and send the answers to me. Thank you.